Comments for the week ending June 20th from the beef farmers of Ontario. There were 454 head of fed steers and heifers sold through auction markets last week, down 124 head from the previous week. Fed steers averaged $313.61 per hundredweight, up $8.25 per hundred, and fed heifers averaged $308.63 per hundred, down $2.03 per hundred from the previous week's trade. Auction markets reported on Tuesday that fed steers and heifers sold $5 higher. By Thursday, fed steers and heifers sold steady. In Ontario, there were reports that packers have pulled their bids. For the week ending June 7th, Eastern fed cattle and cow exports to the U.S. were 3,059 head, 28% below last year, but 32% above the 5-year average. Year-to-date, Eastern fed cattle and cow exports are up 20% from last year. Cull cow receipts sold through auction markets last week were 1,720 head, down 116 head from the previous week. Cows averaged $185.49 per hundredweight, down $144 per hundred. Beef cows averaged $199.81 per hundredweight, up $6.40 per hundred from the previous week's trade. Auction markets reported that fed cows sold fully steady. Receipts of 4,144 stock and feeder cattle sold through Ontario auction markets last week, up 1,004 head from the previous week. Auction markets reported that all classes of stockers and feeder cattle sold fully steady. The Quebec electronic market last week sold at $5.20 per hundredweight dressed on a picked-up basis. Last week, Alberta fed prices averaged on either side of $300 per hundredweight. Dressed sales were reported from $5.02 to $5.04 per hundredweight delivered, steady to $1 a hundred stronger. Buying interest was noted from all three Western Canadian packers. U.S. interest was also noted, but no sales were confirmed. By Wednesday, June 17th, light trade developed with dress sales at $500 to $5.04 per hundredweight delivered, steady to $2 per hundredweight lower than the previous week. For the week ending June 7th, Canadian fed processing was 41,119 head, 3% below last year. The U.S. cash cattle trade last week saw dress sales in the northern feeding states from $376 to $378 per hundredweight, $2 to $4 per hundredweight lower than the previous week. Live sales were reported from $236 to $237 per hundredweight, $5 to $6 per hundredweight lower. Sales in Texas and Kansas were from $228 to $231 per hundredweight live, $4 to $7 per hundredweight softer. USDA released its June 1st cattle on feed report last week, and it was viewed as neutral to slightly bullish as feedlot placements came in below pre-report estimates. For the month of May, feedlot placements were 8% below last year. In early May, the U.S. once again suspended imports of Mexican feeder cattle due to the ongoing spread of New World screwworm. This has come at the expense of southern U.S. feedlots. On June 1st, cattle on feed inventories in Texas were down 210,000 head versus last year. This is Jamie Kerr with the Beef Farmers of Ontario Market Information Report.